I have in front of me a slim fixed TV bracket. It can cover TVs from 26 to 55 inches and it's available with free delivery directly from freetv.ie. Now the full specs of it can be found on our website where this video is embedded. But basically you can see it's a very compact little unit. The price point on it's very, very attractive. So what we're going to do here is we're going to get television just mounted directly on the wall. We don't want to pull it out or angle it, anything like that. So this one is quite good. So with this type of TV brackets, there's basically always two component parts to it. There's the part that mounts on the wall. So if we see here, it's completely reversible, up or down makes no difference, okay? It has a little stops either end, and you'll see the importance of that in a minute because you don't want the next part to be able to slide directly off it. There's 4 plugs and 4 screws on it. Here. Now the series of holes along here just allows us to come along and mount this directly onto the wall, okay? So what we do is we just mark out 4 holes, come along and drill it, and probably what we're going to do is we're going to mark out those bolts as close to the ends as possible because you want to spread the load over the maximum distance, okay? So this is actually quite a nice bracket to that extent. And so that's one part of it done, mounted on the wall, happy days. The next part is we come along and this television supports a VESA standard, in theory 200 by 200 or 400 by 400. So a VESA standard 200 by 200 means that if we come along and use either these 4 larger bolts or 4 smaller bolts here, we're going to bolt this onto the back of the television. So we'd lie the television down and what will happen is there'll be holes on it. So this hole spacing on a television uses the VESA standard. All televisions and all TV brackets in the world follow the same rules. So what they'll do is that if it was a 200 by 200, it means the spacing center to center and holes, threaded holes in the back of the television that are going to be used to hold the television onto a bracket will be 200 millimeters down and 200 millimeters to the side. Okay. So what we would do is we would lie the television flat on the ground. We come along, and what we want to do is this is the top part here, and this is the bottom part here. And the significance here is there's a threaded section, and I've actually done one of these already here. I've just actually taken a bolt that came with the kit and screwed it in here, okay? So what we do is we mount this directly onto the television. So all of a sudden then, we have bolted and mounted like this. And if we grab the bracket, because they're now bolted on television, we could lift off the television like this because the television is supported by the bolts that have gone through. I'll be using either these small bolts or more likely the larger bolts here. So now we have the second part, which is this part here, the actual brackets that go on the television. They're held like this. So we'll come along, and again I'm going to demonstrate it here. I'm going to pretend we have this on a single television. So instead of holding a bracket, imagine I'm holding a television and there's 2 brackets bolted on it. And there's a lip section here, and it'll come down and it'll drop down and it slots in. Okay? Now the thing is, gravity will hold this in position as well, but what you don't want is you don't want pressure to come underneath, push the television off, and it falls down, breaks the television, or maybe falls on top of somebody. So to overcome that problem, what they have provided us with is these bolts on the bottom. So you'd use a Phillips head screwdriver, and once you have it mounted, you would screw this up and it'll catch on the lip. And all of a sudden it won't be able to come off because it's on the lip, caught behind it, and it can't. And the other way it could possibly fall off is it would slide over the end. But again, it can't do that because we have lips on the end of it here. So the design itself is actually quite clever. You know, over the years, like we sell such a range of television brackets, all the rest of it. These ones here are pretty standard. In terms of like, this is probably the safest way you can mount a television bracket, simply because it's tight to the wall, have a nice bracket here, and that's just it. Once you've mounted securely into the wall, you'll be absolutely fine. So that's it anyway, an overview of the slim fixed TV brackets, 26 to 55 inches, available with free delivery from freetv.ie.